sewing friends! Today I have a unboxing for you. The company Feiyue sent me the sewing machine. Now it's a domestic sewing machine. I don't know a whole lot about this company, but they are launching this new machine, which is their FY e350. And as some of you may know, I sew a lot of bags and pouches, so I have a straight stitch machine, and so sometimes I find myself wishing I had a machine that has different stitches. I do have an old one, but I can't find the foot pedal, and so this came at a great time. I want to give it a try. I thought I'd bring you along to check out some of the features and see how this machine performs. Let's start off with getting the plastic off it. I am glad it came in plastic because I have a lot of snow outside, and so it got delivered in the middle of a snowstorm. I also want to grab a measuring tape so you guys know how it comes in the box. It's like Christmas. Okay, so right off the bat, I see that this is a servo motor, which means that it is powerful stitch, we'll see, and it is easy to penetrate fabric. It has a auto threading as well as a metal keel, so the interior is metal, and I think I saw the weight. It weighs 7 kilograms, and the model, as I said, was the FYE 350. This is white, so you know. Okay, so the box that it comes in measures 17, I don't know if you guys can see me, 17, it doesn't matter, right? It's an unboxing. 17.5 inches in width, 9.5 inches in depth, 14 inches in height. Okay, foot pedal and power cord. The guide. A warranty card. Okay, so we have a thread tension dial. Then there's a pressure foot adjustment. It's the thread take-up lever. Okay, so this is where the foot pedal plugs in, and this is where the power cord goes. I wanted to point out that there is a 2-step presser foot. When you lift the presser foot, it'll lift it up, and you think you've got it up as high as it goes, but actually not. On this machine, it actually lifts up a little bit higher if you pull up on the lever, and what that does is it allows you to sew through thicker fabric. A good feature to look for if you are planning on sewing things like pouches and bags. So let's take a peek at what is inside of the compartment. So one thing that I do want to show you is that by removing this little tray, you are able to do some sewing on things that are circular, like cuffs, or I even find with pouches that I'm unable to do that on my straight stitch machine, but that is a feature that I am excited about. This is the zipper foot. I was looking for the buttonhole. It is in here in the bottom. So button sewing foot, seam ripper brush. So that's kind of handy, isn't it? So that's to clean out your feed dogs and when you're doing general maintenance on your machine. And then the seam ripper, well, we all know why that's important. There's a pack of needles with 3 extra bobbins. And then the nice thing is that the pre-wound white and a gray as well as a black. The L screwdriver, which is used to remove the screws on your throat plate. That's kind of nice when you go into some machines. It's really hard to get the L screw to actually sit in there straight. So there is clearance on both sides to be able to access those screws and remove the throat plate. So that's very nice. There's an auxiliary spool pin. There are actually 2 of those. It also comes with a bobbin that is wound in black also. So you get 2 black ones. Auxiliary spools on here. There. Spool of thread. Okay, so I'm just going to follow the numbers. So you go in it from the front to the back. And then you just go through the tension disc. Pull. Basically, you want to make sure that when a bobbin is wound that the side is straight, and that is pretty straight, and it is tightly bound, which is good. Insert the bobbin into the bobbin housing and then go this away, like so. What I like about this, as opposed to my straight machine, is that you can actually see the bobbin and how much thread is left because it has a little drop-in bobbin rather than having it underneath in the housing unit. And also you're supposed to turn the machine off before you do that, which I didn't do, and luckily I'm okay. The manual instructs you to raise up the needle until its highest position until you start to descend, and that will put it in the correct position. I'm going to raise the presser foot, which it already is, and that basically releases the tension discs so that it can accept your thread. Automatic needle threader. It says to raise it up into its highest position, and that's important that you do so because if not it can bend the needle threader. Here is the apparatus that threads your needle, the little handle. Press the lever A down as far as it will go. So that's as far as it will go. And then you're going to pass, the threader automatically swings to the threading position, pass the thread around thread guide C, which is this little hook right there, and front of the needle around the hook D, like a little hook right here, and then you're going to release the lever A. Oh, okay, it did it. So the upper thread tension, the basic tension is 4, so about 4. The stitches in the first row, black of the diagram, are indicated on the pattern selector dial in black. To select the patterns indicated with the black color, turn the pattern selector dial, which is this one right here. Use the stitch length dial D to adjust the stitch length as desired for the project. Use the stitch width dial C up here. That would be if you are doing a zigzag stitch. Stitches S1, these ones right here, in the second row of the diagram are indicated on the pattern selector knob here in blue. So then there are 3 needle positions. So I'm just wanting A. I'll do a stitch length of 2.5, let's say. Whoa! What we're looking for are straight stitches and you want it to look kind of like a row of ants following each other. You want to be able to see the different stitches, which you do. You don't want any looping on the back, so that's really good. Now let's see. It's nice tight stitching, so I'm actually really impressed. Wow, okay. That's the rick-rack stitch. That's pretty. Whoa! Yep, takes it a few stitches back. So what I'm seeing is that if I bump up the foot of the regular foot, it is about 1/4 inch foot. Ooh. It's kind of like driving a car when you're trying to get used to the the brake pedal on a different car. That's what it feels like. Whoa, hello. Okay, so what I've noticed is you have to be careful with the foot pedal because it does kind of, if you're not careful, it will take off. So I'm going to give this vinyl a try. I haven't changed the needle, and there's no Teflon foot for this, so I'm going to see what it does. You could always put some Scotch tape on the bottom of your foot. You can watch some of my other videos about sewing with clear vinyl. Okay, so this is really a beautiful stitch. So I have some denim. I have not changed to a denim needle. Great stitch quality. This is at a 2.5. I'm going to lengthen it just a little bit to a 3, but a good tight seam. Alright, so I'm going to do 4 layers. It's maintained really pretty stitch quality still. So that was through 4 layers. So this would be 8 layers of denim. Let me see if I can get it under the presser foot. Yep. That's the front stitching through 8 layers of denim. And it didn't give me any trouble, as you guys see. I'm not going to back stitch so you can see the stitch quality. So it came unthreaded. And okay, I'm done. Oh dear. My foot wasn't on the pedal at all then. So, don't like that. I'm going to slip stitch it by hand. Okay, so here is my final feedback on the Feiyue Sewing Machine. I completed an entire project. All in all, I thought that the machine was sturdy. The stitch quality was amazing. Okay, so bringing you in so that you can see the stitch quality. As far as it being able to sew through thicker material, I was also very impressed. But the ultimate downside of this machine is the foot pedal, and I found that it would catch and not go down smoothly, and therefore it would go from very slow to 1,000 miles an hour super fast, to the point where I was concerned about finger safety. And I don't know if it's this particular machine. I did look at some reviews, and it did seem to be a common issue with the machine. So I'm hoping that the manufacturer is able to remedy this, because it has so many good qualities for the price point. However, because the foot pedal kept sticking, I did have some issues in rounding the corners correctly. I'd have to stop and pivot, and when I started it would take off, and I did have the foot pedal actually stick, and it kept on sewing even without my foot being on it. So that's a huge concern for safety. On the top stitching, if you notice up here on the left hand side, it started off with very small stitches, and again it's because the foot pedal got stuck and it made small stitches, and then as it took off, it corrected its stitches. They requested that I complete a video, but in no way did they influence my review of the machine, and therefore I feel comfortable in giving you an honest review of the machine. Until next time, happy sewing!